Hello everyone, I'm Frank, and welcome to Frank Puzzles, and this is today's easy level puzzle. And take that easiness with a grain of salt because it's considered easy by the people on the Logic Masters Germany forum, and there's a lot of really smart people there. Today's puzzle is called Loud Whisper by Jolin 012 or Jolin 12. I'm not sure which one it is. And here are the rules. Sudoku. Normal Sudoku rules apply, which means fill every row, column, and box with the digits 1 through 9 without repeats. German whispers. Values along a green line must differ by at least 5 if they're adjacent. Okay, so this is not a very good translation, but basically adjacent values along a green line must differ by at least 5. So for example, if this were actually the value of 9, the only values that could be in next to it would be 1, 2, 3, or 4, right? Because those are the only values that are 5 away from it. Assuming normal Sudoku rules, which we do not actually, we actually have other rules that modify things, so we don't have specifically just normal Sudoku rules. But in a normal Sudoku rule world, the only digits possible next to this 9 would have to be 1, 2, 3, or 4, because those are 5 away from the 9 in value. And this is the modifier that changes things about this rule set, which is doubler. There is exactly one doubler in every row, column, and 3x3 box. No two doublers may contain the same digit. Therefore, there are no repeats in the doubler cells. A doubler cell's value is twice the value of the digit in that cell for the purposes of the German whisper lines. So, for example, if this 9 were a doubler cell, first of all, there would be no other doubler cells in the same row, column, or box with it. And then also, this value as a doubler cell would be 18, because we know it's double the value of the digit in the cell, so therefore this value would be 18 if that were the case. And those are all the rules. If you'd like to play along, there's going to be a link in the description. And now, I'm going to get started. So let's go. Okay. The first thing that I see actually, that's very interesting in general. All of these digits are very weird to be next to each other, right? Or to be, sorry, 2 away from each other. They would actually make sense if they were next to each other. Like, specifically the 3, 9, and the 9 and 1, and the 7, 1, and then the 4, well, 4, 7, not so much. But the 2, 9, the 9, 3, then the 3, 9, and the 9, 1, and the 1, 7 all seem like they should actually be next to each other on a German whisper line. But the interesting thing is that they are 2 away from each other, which means the digit that is in between them has to be 5 away from both of them. And the thing is, so for the low number, it really doesn't make sense to double it, right? If this is 1 and you double it to 2, the problem is this still has to be 5 away from both 7 and 2 in value. And that's just not possible, right? So if the 7 is doubled, though, there are digits that can be 5 away from 14 and 1, right? So that could work if the 7 is doubled. Obviously, if this is doubled, then it could be essentially like 6 doubled, which would be 12 and more. I guess this could be 4 doubled here. And then this would be 5 away from both 4 doubled, which would be 8 and 7. So the question is which restrictions we're looking for. What would restrict things the most is the question, right? So the thing is, okay, for 9, if you double this, that could potentially work to be 5 away from 1 and 9, right? But the problem is if you just double that, there's no digit that's 5 away from 3 and 9 by themselves. I guess this could be 3 doubled, though. And if this is 3 doubled, it could be 6, right? And then therefore these both could be 1. Okay. What about 6? 6 is very interesting. So 6, you could have. So for this one, 6 is normally not allowed to be next to 2 unique digits on a German whisper line, right? Because it can only be next to 1 in normal German whisper line rules. But if you double the 6, then it can be next to 2 unique digits. Or if you double one of the values next to the 6, it could be next to 2 unique values, right? So then it would have to, okay, so if this is 6 doubled, then everything can be essentially what? So either 6 is doubled here in this instance, or one of these values has to be doubled. It cannot be that none of these values are doubled. So the rest of the box cannot be doubled. We know either this 6 is doubled or one of these values is doubled. If the 6 is doubled, that makes it 12. And 5 away from 12 is anything 7 and below. So this could be 1 through 7. Um, If the 6 is doubled, though, that means this is 12. And this digit would have to be 5 away from 4 and 12. So I don't think the 6... So the 6 doubling doesn't actually do anything. If this is 12, this has to be 4 then as a value. And this value would have to be essentially 5 away from 4, which would have to be 9 and above, and 5 away from 12, which is 7 and below, or 17 and above. But obviously, if this is doubled, none of these values can be doubled. So this is a regular value, so it's only 1 through 9. And then again, that can't work. So this can never be doubled. So the 6 is not doubled. So either this value, one of these values is a 1. And the problem with that is if this is 1, that's not 5 away from 4. If this is 1, that's not 5 away from 2. But if this is, and even if you double the 2, it's not 5 away from that. So this one has to be the 1, which means this this 4 has to be doubled. So the rest of the box, the column, and the row cannot be doubled. So these can't be doubled. This can't be doubled. This 1 is not doubled, and this value has to be doubled, and which means this row can't be, this column can't be doubled. This row can't be doubled. So this has to be, cannot be 5, because that's not, if you double 5, that's 10, which is not 5 away from 6. So this has to be 7, 8, or 9 doubled, which is next to 2. The 4 doubled is 8. So therefore, this value, it could technically be doubled. This value can't be doubled because that would be 2, and that's not 5 away from 6. This could be 1 doubled It could be 2, or that's it. So those are the only possibilities, because 7 is not doubled. Now you know this digit is 5 away from 1, but it's also 5 away from 7. So if you have a normal Sudoku rule set, that doesn't work. But if with the doubler, if it's 6, 8, or 9, that's 5 away from 1 and 7, right? 6 doubled is 12, 8 doubled is 16, and 9 doubled. So this has to be a doubler. And it has to be 6, 8, or 9, which means none of the rest of the row or box or column can be doubled. So these are not doubled. Therefore, the doubler is one of these three. The 2 is not doubled. So it has to be greater than 7 here. This is not doubled. So either the 3 is doubled or the 9 is doubled. Otherwise, if neither of them are doubled, that would mean it's this normal digit has to be 5 away from 3, which would be only 8 and 9, and 5 away from 9, which would only be 1 through 4, which those don't overlap. So either 3 or 9 is doubled, which means none of these can be doubled, and this can't be doubled, because again, 3 or 9 is doubled. If the 3 is doubled, that means it has to be 5 away from 6 and 9, so therefore that would be 1. If the 9 is doubled, that doesn't work. So if the 9 is doubled, the problem is you have the same problem here, right? So either way, then the 9 would have to be doubled here, but we can't have repeats in the doubler cells. So this cannot be 9 doubled, because then that would force this to be 9 doubled. So this can only be the 3 doubled, which means the rest of the row and column cannot be doubled. So the 3 is doubled. It has to be next to a 1, which is a 5 away from the 9. So this is 1 also. This is 9, normal. This is 1. So this doubler has to be 5 away from both 1 and 9. So it has to be specifically doubled. And it could be 7 doubled or 8 doubled. Cannot be 9 doubled because the 9's in the same box. So that would be 14 or 16, either way. Okay, so this is 1, this is 1. These are both not doubled, and this must be 5 away from 9 and 2. So this is also 7 or 8 doubled. Well, we have a 7, 8, 7, 8 pair now in the doublers. So that eliminates 7 and 8 from the rest of the doublers. So this cannot be 7 or 8. This has to be 9. This can't be 8, and it can't be 9 anymore because we have a 9 in the doublers. So this must be 6 doubled. Okay. This can't be doubled. None of these can be doubled. This can't be doubled, which means this is a doubler. This can't be a doubler because of this 7 or 8, so this must be a doubler. And this is the last remaining doubler. The remaining doublers have to be 1, 2, and 5. So this is 1, 2, or 5. This is 1, 2, or 5. And this is 1, 2, or 5. This can't be 1, and this can't be 1. What about 9s? This can't be 2 doubled. So this is either 1 doubled or 5 doubled. Um, hmm. One cannot be here, here, or here. So one has to be one of these remaining. One cannot be here, here, or here. So one is one of these three. One can't be here or here. So one has to be one of these four. This can't be one. One cannot be here, here, here. So one is one of these two. Hmm. Nines has to, well, nine has to be, whoops. One of these is one. Nine has to be one of these two. Six cannot be here or here. Hmm. If this is five doubled, then these both become low, which makes these high. Oh, well, that doesn't work. One has to be essentially. So if this is five doubled, these both have to be low, which means they have to be next to a high digit because these are normal Sudoku or German Whisper rules for these cells. And you always alternate between lows and highs in normal Sudoku with German Whisper. But again, if this is five doubled, these both become low, which forces these to be high, and one doesn't have a place anywhere in this box then. So therefore, this must be one doubled here, which means this can't be one doubled. So this has to be a one, which means this can't be one, so this is two. The one obviously cannot be either of these two anymore. So the one is one of these two. This is one doubled, which means this is a two in value. So therefore, we have the lows. These both have to be highs, and these have to be both lows. And this can't be 1, 2, or 3. This has to be 4, which means it's next to a 9. This has to be a 3 because that's the only low digit left, which means it's next to an 8. So this is 3 and 8. This cannot be a low because 1 cannot be here and 2, 3, or 4 can't be here. So this has to be a high, which is 6, 7, 8, which means this is a low. And it cannot be 1 or 3, and 4 cannot be next to two unique digits that are on the German Whisper line without doubling. So this must be 2. And this has to be then 7 or 8. This has to be, cannot be 6. It also is 7 or 8. Okay. Well, we know whatever digit this is A. So we're going to mark it as A. That means this is B, which makes that A, which makes that B. That's fine. This digit, if it's a low, that would mean this is 1. This would have to be a high, then, if that's the case. So if this is low, it's a 1. Then this would have to be high, and it could only be 7, therefore this would have to be 2. If this is a high, it could be 7, 8, or 9. This would have to be 2 or 3. And this would have to be, what, 7, 8, 7 or 8 here. Okay. So we know these have to be, this is a 1, 9 pair here. Because where can the 9 be in column 7? Can't be any of these three, can't be here. It has to be one of these two. Same with 1, right? So this is a 1, 9 pair. 4. Where's the 4 in column 8? It can only be here. So this is 4. What else do we have? So the remaining digits in column 7 have to be 5, 7, and 8. But we have a 7, 8 pair here, which eliminates 7 and 8 from being a possibility for that cell, right? Because we have a 7, 8 pair in this row. This cannot be 7 or 8 then. This must be 5, which forces both of these to be 7 and 8. That means the remaining cells here are 2, 3, and 5, which eliminates 2, 3, and 5 from the rest of the column. Therefore, this can't be 2 or 3. So this has to be 7 or 8, which makes this a high. That means this has to be next to a low, because there's no doubler rules here. Therefore, this has to be high. So this is a 9, this is a 1. Which this can't be 1, so this must be a 1 here. And we have 8 1s, so the last one is known, and it has to be here. So this is a 1. What about 9s? 9s cannot be here or here, so 9 has to be one of these two cells, which means 9 has to be one of those two cells. The remaining digits here are 6 and 7, but this can't be 7 because of the 7, 8 pair in the row, so this must be 6, which makes this a 7. And the remaining digits here are 2, 3, and 5. This can't be 2. The remaining digits in column 9 have to be 7, 8, and 6. And this can't be 6, so we now have a 7, 8, 7, 8 pair in column 9, which eliminates 7 and 8 from the rest of the column. So this cannot be 7 or 8, so this is a 6. Which means one of these is a 6. If this is low, it would have to be 3 or 4. But if it's 4, this would be 9, which is not possible. So this would be 3 if it's low, which would force this to be 8. If this is low, it has to be 4, which would make that a 9. Because the only digits without doublers that can be 5 away from 4 is 9. But that doesn't work because we have a 9 here. So this specifically has to be 3 and 8. Well, this 8 means this can't be 8, so this must be 7, which forces this to be 8. 7 can no longer be in this row here, and can't be here, so it has to be one of these two cells. Well, this can't be 7 because of the 7, 8 pair in the column, so therefore this must be specifically a 6 then, because this has to be 7. This cannot be 3, so this must be 2, which means this can't be 2. This can't be 2, so this must be a 5, which means in the other doubler cell, this has to be a 2. So this is 2. That means what's left over here is a 4. This can't be 2. 5 cannot be here. Okay, what are the remaining digits in this column? It has to be 6, 7, or 8. This can't be 6. So this must, wait, no, sorry, this is 7. So therefore this must be 8, which makes this 7, which makes that 8. This 8 makes that a 7. Remaining digits are 5 and 6, and this can't be 6. So this must be 5, which makes that a 6. Remaining digits in row 8 are 3 and 4. This can't be 3, so this is 4, which makes that a 3. Remaining digits in column... Do we want to keep going that way? We probably should just go where digits can be where. So the 2 has to be here. So this is 2. 2 cannot be here. Cannot be any of these, so this must be 2. That's kind of it for that. What about 4? 4 can't be here, so this must be 4, which makes this a 7. Remaining digits here are 5, 6, and 9. Which could be any of them. This can't be 6, this can't be 5, and this can't be 9. This has to be 2, 5, and 6 here. What about here? We have 3, 5, 7, and 8 left. But these can't be 7, and this can't be 7. Therefore, this is the only place for 7. So this is 7. This can't be 8. So where's the 8 in row 5? It has to be here. So this is 8. This has to be 3 or 5. Remaining digits here are 2, 5, 6. 2, 5, and 6. This can't be 7 anymore because of that 7, so this is 8, which makes that 7. We have all the 7s now. We don't have all the 8s. But 8 cannot be here or here, so this must be 8, which forces this to be a 9, so this can't be 9, which makes that a 9. We have 8 8s, I believe. Yes, so we know the last 8 has to be here, so this is 8. This digit has to be a 4 because that's the only remaining digit. These are split between 5 and 6, and this can't be 6, so this is 5, which makes that a 6. This can't be 6. This can't be 5 here, so this must be 3, which makes that a 5. The remaining digit here is a 3, which makes that a 5. This 5 means this can't be 5, so this is 2. This can't be 2 or 5, so this is 6. This can't be 5, so this is 3. This can't be 2 or 3, so this is 5, which makes that a 2 here. And now we're just doing Sudoku. This can't be 5, so this is 9, which means this can't be 9, so this has to be a 9. The only digit remaining here is a 4. This 6 means that can't be 6, so this is 5. This can't be 9 here, so this must be a 6. And the remaining digits now are 3 and 4. This can't be 4, so this is 3, and this is 4. That makes this a 3, and this has to be a 5. Well done. Thanks for playing my second puzzle. Hey, good job. This was very, very cool, actually. Very cool logic about where the doublers could be. And a very nice use of the doubler rule set here. Anyways, I hope you enjoyed this solve, and I'll see you next time on Frank Puzzles. Take care.